The eCom Q4 Summit was created to prove that any seller can experience a highly profitable fourth quarter with access to the right tips, strategies, and techniques. There's no need to struggle trying to figure out what to sell, where to find it, or how much to list it for. The summit covers everything from sourcing to listing to marketing and streamlining your operations. It doesn't matter if you're selling on one platform or multiple platforms like Amazon, eBay, Shopify, Walmart. And it doesn't matter if you're a new seller or an experienced seller. The information in the summit will help you get sale after sale after sale after sale during the busiest shopping season of the year, if you take massive action. So welcome to the eCom Q4 Summit.
Hi there, I'm Susan Bradley. Welcome to this workshop. I'm glad you're here. You know, in the next 30 to 40 minutes, we are actually going to figure out why you're either not getting sales or you're not getting the sales that you want. And you're going to understand what work you need to do to actually correct that so that you'll leave being able to move forward, feeling like you're clear on what you need to do next and confident that you actually can reach your goals. There is a process you can take. And so what I'm going to do now is just share my screen. We'll dive in. I have some slides prepared for you, and so we'll just get to it. Here we go. So listen, I'm going to share the workshop with you, and then I will talk about the work that you need to do right now, because there is work that you can do consistently, small chunks of work that you can do consistently that will actually get you small wins and make you feel better. You'll be able to stay motivated and really keep your momentum high so that you feel good about your business and you'll be able to actually see your progress. So before we get started, if you don't know me, my name is Susan Bradley. I am the founder of the Social Sales Girls. There I am. And we have a membership community, and it's called the Inner Circle. And we teach our members how to grow their traffic, grow their sales, and the business that they really want, the e-commerce store they really want. We do it in a way that really feels right, authentically. There is no bro marketing in the Inner Circle. We want our members to build solid businesses with strong foundations where they understand how their business works and understand how to scale it. And so that's what you'll find with us, is really actionable strategies that baby step you to success. Lasting success, actually. Now, that's not my only job. Even though I'm the founder of the Social Sales Girls, I'm also an e-commerce store owner like you. And recently I sold my big e-commerce store. It's my second business that I've sold. I was happy because I reached a goal, but I actually love having an e-commerce store. It's so much fun. And I know that over the 5 years that I've been teaching other people how to grow their stores, so much changes. In fact, it changes all the time. And so I really love having a store so that I feel connected to what's working right now, and I'm able to share that with our members. And I love to bring them behind the scenes and show them what I'm working on. And so after I sold my big business, I actually decided to start a new store. And I don't know whether it was brave or foolish, but I decided to share that process publicly. So we started from zero. We had no product, no website, nothing. And I wanted to share with whoever was interested. I wanted to share it in an authentic way. I wanted them to see my sales, what it cost me, the good things that happened, the strategies that worked, the things that were not good, the things that I wouldn't recommend doing. And I wanted to also share the kind of big milestones that I reach along the way so that people who were following the project could perhaps align themselves with that. And I also wanted to take the journey the way most of the people I work with take it, which is self-funded. I use my own money and also part-time. You know, many of the people that I work with certainly start their e-commerce businesses part-time. They might have a job or they are busy with kids, but they have something else big going on in their life. So they don't have, venture capital and a team of people working on their businesses. This is really authentic the way successful small business grows, e-commerce business. So the project, if you would like to follow it, is you can find it on Facebook in a private group, which you can ask to join. And also I have a podcast. Both are called The Roadmap to 50K. I share openly in the group and you can ask questions. On the podcast, I share, but I also try and bring with every episode a strategy that you can take and apply to your business and give it a try. See if you can make some progress. So I would encourage you to follow me there, but the real reason I'm telling you about this is as we go through the workshop, I'm going to pull in examples from my business that will really help connect the strategy to a real business, and you'll get to see it on an authentic small business, not a $60 million business. And so you can actually go look at your data and see where you are on the road. I think it will be good. Now, we need to talk about why you're not getting the results that you want. And so we want to identify what's keeping you from getting to that next level and figure out what stage your store is at. I want to be able to show you the work that you need to do that will get you more progress faster, will have the most impact on your results. And so I want to talk about who we're helping today. And so you may be a brand new e-commerce store owner. You might be thinking about opening an e-commerce store, or you might have been in business for a while, but you're feeling stuck. Or the other person we can really help today is somebody who is a successful product seller, but you've been selling on a marketplace like Etsy or Amazon or eBay. And what you're really looking to do is duplicate that success on your own website. So if you fit any of those profiles, this is a really good training for you. Regardless of where you are in that mix, you're going to leave with clarity about where you are right now and what you have to do to take your business to the next level. Now, we know that most of us want consistent sales. It's just different levels of consistent sales. And I want to talk a little bit about your goals and how what makes you feel successful. Because if you're like most people, we want consistent sales every day, but we have sales only as our definition of success. And so I have a cheesy slide for you about this. But what I see is that if we have lots of sales, we feel like we are successful. If we have a good couple of days, we really feel like we're successful, like this woman on the right. But if we have slow sales, it's really not hard for us to go to the bad place quickly, where we feel like we're failing, like nothing's working, like there's something wrong with us. But here's what I've learned over more than 5 years of helping other people build their businesses and also build mine. And it's really this. It's that when you don't get sales, especially in these early stages of business, that does not always mean that you're not getting results. It really just means that you need to dial it back and look for other things to measure your success. Because at these early stages of business, when you're already a little fragile, exposed, invested, and not getting the return that you were hoping for, using sales as the only measure of your success is super toxic. It actually is so hard on our emotions, and it kind of sucks the life out of us, right? It affects your motivation. You tend to actually do less or spin in circles. And so really what I find difficult to take is that in our industry, in the e-commerce industry, it's kind of like we're kind of trained to think sales is the only thing that is going to be a measure of our success. And even in our culture, we look at sales and we see that immediately as success. But the truth is, when you're in those early stages, you need to have other milestones to measure your progress against. You're going to get sales, but you have to reach some of these milestones first. And so I want to share them with you. I really want to take you down that path of where most of us who are, are people, really what we do, the path we take to actually get success, which is, the sales that we want. And I want to share like the first two stages of e-commerce business. And that's where it really doesn't make sense to use sales as their definition or as your measuring stick about whether you are successful or not. So I'll give you those milestones that you need to reach along the way. And the reason that that's so important is that those milestones are like great stops along the way to getting the sales you want. They indicate that you're on the right track and that you can feel confident that you're moving in the right direction. So it's a huge, big deal that you know what they are. When you know to watch for these milestones, then you can identify success, like even if success doesn't mean sales for you at your stage of business. And what happens when you say, okay, here's what I'm trying to achieve now, instead of this, 10 sales a day, here's really where I'm at, and here's a win for me. When you understand that, then you start to feel in control of your results. You feel confident that you are on the right track. You're not, out of your mind doing it all wrong. And you'll get clarity about what's working in your business and what you have to do next. Really quite good. Now, I want to share this because I think this is a little bit relatable for you. So this is somebody who posted in my roadmap group, and it's somebody who, I see this kind of post all the time, somebody relatively new. They're looking for advice. They just launched their store. They have done a couple of ads on Facebook and Instagram for testing. They've reached 5,000 people, but only a couple of clicks. Only a couple of people have gone to their website, no sales. The first big question she asks is this normal? She's not sure if she's impatient or there's something wrong with her product, her website, her ads, or her, her skill level. And so I see this often, and I think we have, there are some people that will post this in a group, some people who will ask themselves this question, but I think most of us struggle with this at some time. And really the problem is that there's not a handbook for e-commerce. And even though we're in all of these groups, we're kind of still alone. And nobody has normalized this. Nobody has said, listen, this is what's normal. So don't question all these things. This is totally normal. Here's what you have to do. And so what happens, of course, when you post like this, or somebody does, you get people piling in, trying to help you. Their intentions are mostly good, but you can see this is an actual response to that post. It's a laundry list of like 7 things that you could do. And so what happens is because you don't know what's normal, you don't really know what's wrong. It's really common to dive into this stuff and start tweaking your website and doing this work. And you make all these changes, you get really invested in the results from those because it's taken you a lot of time. But really the truth is that when you invest time in activities like this, they're not necessarily aligned with what's wrong in your business at the stage of business that you're at. And so you could spend a couple of days doing all this and not see any results. Nothing would get better because there's still no plan. And more importantly, there's no way to measure any of this working. We have no idea. And really what you need when you feel like this, like she felt, you need to feel confident that you're on the right track, and you just need someone to tell you what to do next. And so the important thing at this stage, when you're not getting what you want, is you really need to train yourself. I want to write this down. Train yourself to focus on work that produces a result that you can measure. You can track and measure. Because what we track and measure is what moves. And so it's really important. You need to be able to see your progress. You need to, because it's going to be in baby steps. It's going to be really tiny at first. And seeing that progress is going to give you the confidence that you are headed in the right direction. So here's what I know, like really, most of the time, the work you do isn't going to like result in an avalanche of sales, almost never. And if it does, it's usually not repeatable. You know, the Kardashians wore your stuff or something that you can't control. And so it's really good for us as e-commerce store owners to be able to track and measure our progress, because then we can see it. And then we know that the work we're doing is moving the needle. And if we can't see it, we often stop doing that work. And then we start back at ground zero. We might like change the banner or whatever the things were. And that doesn't get us the results that we want. And so we slide backwards. We do something, we don't get the results, we slide backwards. We try something else. And you really want to get out of that cycle. And the way to do that is to train yourself to do work that gives you results that you can measure. And I'm going to share with you what it is that the work is that you can do. Because really, if you don't do this, you end up getting exhausted, frustrated, of course, really down on yourself. You stop loving your business. And that's really sad, because one thing I do see is people quit long before they should. And basically, you know, most products are commercially viable. But what happens is that the marketing piece isn't there. The attracting the audience and getting the people to your site, and that's why people don't get sales, not because the product isn't viable. So when we talk about the work that gets you a result that you can measure, what is that work that will get you that result that I can actually track and measure and see my progress? And really, most people don't know what that is. Come on, slides. There we go. Uh, most people don't know what that is, and then they don't know how to measure it. And so when I was thinking about this workshop and how I was going to give you like hard goals to reach so that you could have clarity on where you're at in business and what your work is, I wanted really a simple way for you to identify what stage you're at. And so that's what I've done. And so you'll be able to see what I'm telling you, and then see what stage you're at, and then understand the work that's going to get you past that stage. And feel confident that, yeah, I can do this. I'm on the right track. Because what I know also is that if you put 100% of your focus on the work you need to do to get to that stage, that next stage of business, you really move the needle a lot faster. Instead of doing a lot of different things, we want you to move the needle, get you to the next stage, get some results, understand what's causing those results, and then make faster progress towards the next stage. So I want to talk quickly about the first stage, which is traffic. Traffic. You know, there's a milestone that you need to reach. We all do when we're starting our businesses. And the first thing is traffic. And so you need to know what's normal, because she didn't know, remember, and what success looks like. And so if I were responding to her post, that woman's post, the first thing I would have done is I would have asked her if she had a minimum of 3,000 web visitors a month. Do you have 3,000 web visitors a month? That's what I would have asked. Or I would have said, how much traffic do you have every month? Because that's where the problem starts. It's not the color of any banner. So that is what I would ask. And it's really simple. It's based on conversion rates. And so conversion rates, of course, are the percentage of web visitors that actually buy. And so let's say your conversion rate is 1%. That's super common. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you have a goal of, I just want to get one sale a day, just one sale a day, or maybe it's that I just want to get 10 sales a day, whatever your goal is, based on your conversion rate and your goal, let's say it's one sale a day, the bare minimum number of web visitors you need every single day is 100. 100 web visitors every single day at a 1% conversion rate just to get one sale a day. And so the thing is that it really doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what color the banner is. It doesn't matter, if you put a compare at price on your site, because that's not the problem. The problem is that you don't have enough traffic to your site. You don't have enough eyeballs on your site. And so until you can reach that milestone of 3,000 web visitors, you don't have much of a chance of reaching your goal of sales. And so really your goal is getting to those 3,000 web visitors. And if this is you, what you need to do is focus all your efforts on getting to that 3,000 web visitor number, because that's what's going to move the needle in your business. So that woman who posted, she wasn't wrong. She tried some ads, but what she did is she didn't see any results right away, and she didn't know that that's normal. And so she went on to the next thing, which was, also not going to get her the results that she wanted. So the real problem there was that she didn't know that what was happening was normal, and how do we fix that? And so when you're at the traffic stage, and remember, 3,000 web visitors or less, you're at the traffic stage. People are often really shocked about, first of all, how much traffic you need to get the sales you want. But the other thing they're quite shocked about is the fact that you need to pay for a lot of that traffic. And so this is the first example from my newish little business. And so in the last quarter of 2020, I had 13,417 web visitors. Remember, I already know that I need 3,000 web visitors. And so those were people, sorry. And so the total number of sessions those people had was 16,413. But what's maybe shocking to you, it is to many people, is that I actually paid for more than 10,000 of those web visits. I paid from social media ads and Google ads to get that traffic to my site. So I only was able to drive on my own over 3 months, 6,000 web visitors. So you need to kind of get a mindset that for most of us, when we're at that traffic stage, we do want to use free strategies, but it'll take us a long time to get there unless we pay for some of our traffic. So we have to accept the fact that we're going to pay for some of this traffic, and we have to make room in our budgets to do that. And so your work is going to be devoted to using both free and paid strategies to get your traffic up to 3,000 web visitors a month. And that's success. Like every week you could track your traffic and see it going up, and you know that you're headed in the right direction. You don't have to go find a bunch of other things to do. You just have to do more of what's working to get that traffic to your site, because that's the first stage. So powerful. So I want you to take a look and know that if you are regularly getting fewer than 3,000 web visitors a month, you're at the traffic stage. And so you can measure that traffic every week and know that you're successful as you march your way to 3,000 web visitors a month. That's success for you at that stage. You'll probably get some sales as you're doing this, but if you just say success is only sales and you only got, 7 sales, you're not going to be happy with that. You're going to think you're failing still, when actually you're well on your way to getting success. So that's what success looks like when you're at the traffic stage. Now I want to talk a little bit about how you get more traffic. There's always free traffic, and there are things that you can do consistently to drive free traffic. One of the things I see all the time is social media. People worry that they're not getting any reach, they're not getting clicks on their social media activity, whether it's just posting that they're doing or stories that they're doing or lives that they're doing. They feel like it's not giving them a lot of juice, a lot of traffic for their time, and sometimes money if they've created something. The other thing is content sharing that people sometimes see as not getting a lot of ROI for it. But I want you to know that if you look, these are the things you can do. And the fourth thing on the list is direct traffic and search traffic. And what I know is that, my business is called Sock Doggo. It's so not famous. I'm sure yours isn't famous either. But that traffic that I got direct and from search is very much likely a result of all the social media work I did, even though I didn't see it at the time. And so I want you to just kind of come to peace with yourself that there is a value in that work and that you're not going to necessarily see the result today. But over time, it does build. The other really good way of getting free traffic is to start early with email marketing and email people regularly. If you don't know what to say, because that's the number one reason people don't email, I have a couple of podcast episodes with tons of ideas for email marketing. Make sure you use it, because when you send people back to your site from email, it's totally free. And so it's a really good way, and it's the best quality traffic too. The other things you can do is use Pinterest. It often sends a lot of traffic to your site, and you can use outside links. You can collaborate with someone and send, do a blog, a shared blog with someone and send people to each other's sites. But I want you to understand that you will have to use some of these paid strategies if you want to accelerate your growth. And so it's Facebook and or Instagram ads. Google Shopping is very valuable for many merchants. Sometimes AdWords and sometimes Pinterest ads. So I want you to know that you're going to have to supplement your free traffic with some paid traffic to reach your goal of 3,000 web visitors a month. Now, if you have 3,000 web visitors a month and you're feeling stuck, understand that moving your traffic up the needle, like moving it to 6,000 web visitors a month, is probably something you're going to have to do before you can reach your sales goals. Everything starts with traffic. We have to have eyeballs on our site. And so the good news is that once you've reached that 3,000 web visitor a month threshold, that you can turn your attention to conversion. You still have to maintain 3,000 web visitors a month or you'll slide backwards. But by the time you're there, you've usually figured out what works and how you can do it in an affordable way. And you can turn your attention to not growing your traffic, but now figuring out, how do I get these people to buy? How do I turn these web visitors into buyers? And you really reach the conversion stage, and that's stage 2. And so conversion is really just the percentage of web visitors that actually buy from you. So again, if your conversion rate is 1% and you get to the place where you've got 100 web visitors, you're going to get 1 sale a day. You can pretty much count on 1 sale a day. But I want to talk about what's normal here for a minute, because again, people feel like, oh, I don't know, there's something wrong with my site. Can you check my site? I'm not getting any sales. And so what's normal is e-commerce conversion rates are between 1% and 2%. That is super normal. But what people don't talk about is that if you have a price that is, or a price point that is higher, like I'd say anything over $75, if it's higher, then what I see generally is those conversion rates are lower. You're going to need more traffic because your conversion rates are going to probably be harder to move, and it'll be under 1%. If you have customization, like you embroider stuff, often those conversion rates are lower. If you have jewelry, I don't know what it is about jewelry, but I see it time and time again. No matter what the price point is, often those conversion rates are lower. And so what I want you to understand is that's normal. It's not you. And once you know that, you know how to deal with that. You may need more traffic to get the sales that you want. But aside from that, when we talk about conversion and what's going to move the needle for you in conversion, there are 2 things that you need to focus on, really, 2 metrics that you need to focus on. And the first one is super important, and it's add to cart percentage. And so of those 3,000 web visitors a month, or 100 a day, what percentage of them add to cart? What percentage of them are adding an item to the cart? Now, if you're on Shopify, you can find this on your dashboard. If you're on another platform where it's not easy to find that, we have a handout with this lesson which will show you how to find add to cart for you. But add to cart is vital. for conversion. So just like sales start with traffic, you can't get sales if you don't have traffic. The next step is you can't get sales if nobody adds anything to cart. And adding to cart is really a function of the quality of traffic, the kinds of people that you're sending to your site. There's a little bit about user experience, but more often than not, it's who you're sending to your site. And so what we know is that add to cart rates across all Shopify stores are 3.93%. So they're around 4%. So around 4 out of every 100 people puts an item in the cart. And so I want to share with you, this is my fourth quarter for last year. So you can see this is my Shopify dashboard that I had 5.54% of visitors added to cart. And there's a couple of things that I want you to know about this. The first thing is my add to cart rate is okay. It's nothing to write home about, but it's over 4%. So it's okay, but there's room for improvement. But the other thing I want you to think about is this is a function of the quality of traffic, but also what happens when they get there. So things I want you to watch for are if people are clicking on a product and that's bringing them a product post and it's bringing them to your site, don't send them to your homepage. Don't send them to the collection page. Send them to the product page. Give them the fewest amount of clicks so that what they see when they land is congruent with what got them there. People miss that all the time, and so I want you to think about that. The other thing I want you to think about is that you might send a lifestyle. You might have a lifestyle picture that has a lot of stuff in it in social media, and I see this all the time, that people click through and they bounce right off. And what happens is, even though it's clear to you in the post that what you're selling, it's not clear to them. And so when they got to your site, they think it was something else that they were going to see and they bounce away. So those are two things that will affect your add to cart. But other than that, it's basically quality of traffic. Are you targeting the right people? Now, the next thing that we need to talk about is this conversion funnel, because again, people don't understand what's normal. And so this is on your Shopify dashboard. It says conversion funnel. And really it's the 3 steps that people take once they add to cart. So you've got the added to cart, and then they click and they reach the checkout where they put their information in. And then you've got sessions converted. And so you don't get an abandoned cart until people have put their information in. So just to make that clear, it's not just when they add to cart and then don't do anything else. And what people don't understand is that it is completely normal for half of those people to bail each time. So from add to cart to reach checkout, it's normal for half of them to bail. From reach checkout to sessions converted, again, normal for half of them to bail. And so if you have half of them bailing at each step, you're okay. Even though it feels awful, you're okay. But if you have more than half of them bailing, there might be something that's stopping people from converting, and you'll want to go look. It's probably on mobile. I'll give you that clue, on people who are shopping on their phones. But those are the things that you'll want to check. And so it's completely normal to lose half the people. Mine's okay, right? I think that it's actually converting at around 30%. If I took the 282 sessions and divided them by 940, I think it's 30%, but you want at least 25. Again, I'm going to tell you that if you have a product that has a lot of customization, you might see a higher bail in between add to cart and reach checkout, just so that you know that that might be your normal. But really, this is where you're looking for problems in the function of your site. So, oops, there you go. There's your conversion funnel working. So this is all of my example from the fourth quarter of last year. So my conversion funnel is converting at 30%, which means it's working. I just need to work on the quality of my traffic. I need to get more people that are more interested to come to my site. And when you are working on conversion, there's one thing over all the other things that will have the most impact on your conversion rate. Again, it's something that most people don't talk about. And oh, I just wanted to show you this. Forgot about this. So I wanted to show you that this is a process and that it doesn't happen overnight. And earlier that same year, look at my conversion funnel. My add to cart was 2.25%. And again, it's a function of the quality of the traffic you send, and it takes time to learn what the right traffic is. And it's a process that you can learn for sure. Now, this is the one thing over all others, back to that, and that will have the most impact on your conversion rate. And it's returning visitors. It's getting people back for a second visit or a third visit or a fourth visit. And the reason why that is so important is that returning visitors are 2 to 3 times more likely to add to cart and complete the purchase. And so we spend a lot of time getting people to our site and money getting people to our site the first time. But we don't spend enough time and money getting people back to our site for a second visit, and that's when they really convert. Now, this is just a little report in Google Analytics that shows you the difference between what a first-time visitor does on my site compared to a returning visitor. And so what we know is that new visitors, they spend less time on their site and they look at fewer pages, and their conversion rate is really quite a bit lower than new visitors. And mostly what I see, this is a little bit close, mostly what I see is 2 to 3 times difference. And so you can see my new visitors, my first time visitors, converted at 1.61. My returning visitors converted at 2.32%. The problem with the thing I need to work on is getting more returning visitors, because my returning visitors were only 11% of my traffic. And in a perfect world of that whole pool of people who visited my site, I want those warmer returning visitors to be about 30% of all my traffic. And if I didn't add on any more traffic and I didn't do anything else, but I got that number up to 30%, I would get more sales. My conversion rate would go up. And so it's super, super powerful. And so it's a number you need to know what's normal and then where you're at now and what you can shoot for. So returning visitors are huge. It's really the most effective way to get more sales, and most people overlook it. So let's just talk about this, about what success looks like. So in conversion, if you focus on these numbers, you're going to get sales by default. So success is an add to cart rate of 4% or higher, and a conversion funnel, it's about the function of your site, working at 25% or better. That's what success looks like when you're trying to take that pool of visitors and turn them into customers. It's pretty simple. So when you're in that conversion stage, your work is really focused on making sure that you maximize the opportunity. You get the most sales from the traffic that you're already sending. You don't need to focus on getting more traffic. You have to maintain your traffic, but now you're trying to turn those people into buyers. And you'll set your goals, and you can actually measure this every week. You can measure your add to cart rate every week and then try something different and then measure it again and inch your way up to a 4% or higher add to cart rate. And the beauty is, and that funnel, making sure that that funnel stays converting at 25%. But the beauty of all this is that once you've mastered that conversion stage, you're already getting daily sales. But you've done it by focusing on the things that really move the needle for you. It's really good. You'll be well on your way to reaching your goals. So one more thing, let's talk about how to get more returning visitors, because again, there's going to be a free strategy and a paid strategy, and you're probably going to have to use both to get the results that you want. So again, it's that consistent social media posting with either links or tags that eventually get people back to your website. It's email marketing is huge, with a call to action inside of your email marketing so that it takes people right to the product page. It's actively growing that email list so that you can get people on your list and send them just a basic email funnel, just a basic autoresponder with maybe 2 or 3 emails in it that gives you 2 or 3 opportunities to get those people back to your site. And then, of course, the paid strategy is retargeting, using warm audiences and showing the same stuff to your people again and again and again until they really take action, go to your site and make a purchase. So that's how you get people back. It's a process. It takes a long time, but once you know to focus on that, you can let a lot of other stuff go and just work on moving the needle and track that metric. Track those returning visitors every week. So let's just wrap it up here. See if I can get this slide to move. There we go. Okay, so just focus on this. You want to check your traffic. If you are regularly below 3,000 web visitors a month, you are at the traffic stage and your work is to get more traffic. That's your focus, get more traffic to my site, right? It's not changing banners, it's working on traffic. If you are already at the stage where you're getting 3,000 or more web visitors to your site, you're at the conversion stage. And so your job is to, come on here. Okay. Seem to go twice. Your job is to focus on converting them. Watch that add to cart percentage, get it to 4% or higher. Keep an eye on your conversion funnel and focus on getting more people back to your site. Take the focus and say, okay, how do I get them back again? How do I get them back again? Because that's what's going to lead to sales. So let's talk about your next steps. Really, you want free and paid strategies for traffic and free and paid strategies for conversion. And there are many ways to do it. I gave you a brief outline of how you can do that in the presentation. And then in the handout, we talk about the milestones and also the ways that you can get there, the things that you can do to get there. So make sure you download that and you have it. I think we've called it a cheat sheet, but it's really easy for you to look at that and use it as a reference as you track and measure. But the bottom line is that I know that if you focus on these 2 things, that you're actually going to make progress and you will be on the next, on the next track to the next level. But I also know that just from all the years of doing this, that you actually will make more progress faster if you get the help to do this. So I want to just tell you really quickly about our inner circle. There is no obligation to join us. You can follow us in our Roadmap to 50K group. You can follow the podcast. But I know that we've helped hundreds of store owners, probably just like you, really go from feeling frustrated and lost to feeling excited and like they're on track. Because we really do meet our members where they are right now. And we give them actionable steps, like we tell them exactly what to do. And we make sure that they understand what's normal and that they know what success looks like for them at their stage of business. And I think that is like the key to having the grit to keep going, because it's a little bit of a slog at the beginning. And so it really helps you do that. So we want you to understand what's normal. We want you to understand where you fit in the cycle of growing your business and be really clear on the work that you need to do to get to a whole new level. And so in our program, we have a classroom where you can log in. It's your private classroom. All the training is there for you, each stage of business. We have a private members only Facebook group where we have it's monitored. I'm in there all the time, but also our mentors are in there who are e-commerce store owners who've had success with the training so they can help you along. And I think we're the only program that actually has coaches that you can book a call with and get face-to-face, one-on-one with them. It's a little bit of an extra cost, but we can actually help move you from where you are now, get past a barrier, and get you back on the road to making progress. So if you are interested, oh, there's the coaches. If you are, I hope this has helped you. for sure. I hope this helped you understand what it is you have to do to make progress and get where you want to go. So remember, understand the stage you're at, track and measure your progress, do the work that's going to move you to the next stage. And if you want a little more help, just click the link and get on the wait list to be in the inner circle, and we will invite you the next time we're accepting new members. We will walk with you all the way. So listen, thanks for your time and attention. I wish you all the best. If you have questions, you can find me at thesocialsalesgirls.com. You can leave me a question. I will answer you, or you can join us in either of the roadmap areas, and you'll learn a lot, I promise. Anyway, best of luck to you. Thanks for your time.